All right, good evening, everyone. We are back. Welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51. So I got to work on this because I'm trying to remember it all. We got the Area 51 Sunday SuperTruck Series here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So 90 laps is the race distance this evening. Bumped it up from the normal 75 laps that we were running last season. And also, as you can see, Sunday nights we're now running the trucks instead of the Xfinity cars. So Xfinity cars will be running again on Thursday nights following the same schedule. So you can, of course, catch that here as well on Green White Checker TV on Thursday nights. And, of course, on Tuesday, Area 51 also running the Dallara IR18 machines. So definitely check those out as well. A lot of fun. A lot of good talents here tonight, and it's going to be a quick 12-race season. We're going to finish things up right towards the end, beginning middle of December. I'm going to have a handful of off-season, or I should say off weeks during the season here this year. But yeah, really excited to be back and appreciate everybody being here a part of it. And yeah, it's going to be fun here tonight. So again, qualifying going on now. And, of course, the question for the scheduling is going to be starting off here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, followed by Daytona International Speedway. And then we continue on to iRacing Super Speedway and then Talladega Super Speedway. Those will be the 4 tracks in rotation. Slight adjustments on the scheduling. We said 90 laps here at Atlanta. Daytona and Talladega staying at 75 laps and dropping down to 70 laps at iRacing Super Speedway. Those will be the 4 races that they run, 4 tracks, I should say, they run at 3 times each. First 8 races will be the regular season, followed by the 4-race playoff. So, like I said, right now qualifying is underway as we speak. And it looks like about 12 of the 20 or so drivers, it looks like, have joined in on the server so far. Got a few drivers still making their way into the field. And so we'll pull up that ticker over on the top so you can hopefully see where your favorite driver is running. And also a very, very exciting announcement for the drivers here that I haven't actually had a chance to relay to them in the drivers meeting. However, you see at that bottom right there, that 4D Raceware sponsorship. 4D Raceware is going to be donating to each series champion Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night a set of racing boots or racing shoes, depending on how you want to call them. So really, really appreciate all the guys at 4D Raceware, Jim Herrick, a really stand-up group of guys. Let's say definitely worth checking them out at 4draceware.com. So yeah, really appreciate you, Jim. And yeah, Chris, right now I think rolling solo. We'll see. If you want to hop in, by all means, you're always welcome. I got Matt Wagner. I was convinced him to hop out on track and let's add another truck to the field. So I think we're going to be right around the 20-ish number here tonight, with about a minute 20 left in qualifying. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's say you guys got used to seeing Carl Henderson in the booth. He is on track here tonight, so it's going to be exciting to be able to kind of switch roles and watch Carl work his magic here as well tonight. And then we got some of the regular hitters, of course, Matt Wagner. Like I mentioned a little second ago, Gabe Butler. Say kind of a tie for the championship earlier in the season on Sunday night between he and Jim Brooks in the 51. We've updated the rule book. We've got some tiebreakers in for those that are wondering about that season. Yeah, so it actually did wind up ending in a formal tie because we went through the rule book and there was no formal tiebreaker listed. So co-champions for 2023 season 2, we had made some adjustments, so we will have some champion. I should say an individual, if you will, champion for 2023 season 3. So, yeah, just a little bit of time left here in qualifying. Kevin Freeze looks like he's just put that truck up onto the point here. And let's see if we can pull up the timing and scoring. You can see there's the current results here on the standings there. You can see right now Gabe only in the thousandths of a second behind. Kevin Freeze tied into the hundredths. Austin Call, Matt Wagner, Carl Henderson rounding at the top 5 currently. So race strategy tonight, hearing about 31 laps on fuel, and with this being a 90 lap race, that makes me believe that this will most likely be a 2-stop race on fuel strategy. So I'll have to keep an eye and see if that comes into play or not. But yeah, so that's always going to be something that we'll need to kind of keep a close eye on to see how it's all going to shake out. But right now, all the drivers getting lined up, getting ready to go here tonight. So while they do that, let's go ahead and pull up our starting grid for tonight. And as you see, it will be Kevin Freeze on pole by 4 thousandths of a second over his teammate Gabe Butler. And you got Austin Call, Matt Wagner, Carl Henderson rounding out our top 5. Then Bud Steele, Ryan Decker, Brandon Briggs, Eric Laurie, and Jim Brooks are top 10. Then William Bogart there in 11th. Quabi Brooks making his return to iRacing in general in that 12th spot. It's been a while since he's been on track. Then you got Daniel Paulus there in 13th. Zach Perry 14th. Frank Ranger, Dude Conrad, Gary Winters, Rudy Dota, Jacob Lee, and Hondo Longmire are going to round out our top 20. And, of course, we'll keep an eye on teammates throughout the evening as well. That's always going to be one to watch. And, yeah, good evening, Jack. Good to see you, sir. I'll say I love seeing you on YouTube. However, I'd love to see you on track even more. So whenever you are interested, Jack, we would love to get you back out on track here, be it tonight with the Sunday series or with the Tuesday IndyCar series or IR18 series. That's I don't get in trouble. Or, of course, the Thursday Xfinity as well with the Super Speedway. So right now we have all but one truck has gridded so far. Just waiting for that last truck to get in, and then we should be rolling here. Again, our inaugural race here for 2023 Season 3 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Really appreciate you all joining in here at Green White Checkered TV. And, of course, for those watching on YouTube, if you have a favorite driver, by all means, let us know. Let us know who you're rooting for. It gives us an excuse to kind of focus on certain drivers as well. That way we can get a little extra attention to your friends and family. Give them a little bit extra TV time. You see here go the trucks here rolling out of pit road. Get those tires warmed up here, and we will be going green this next time by. So up front, front row is going to be Boot Knocker teammates with Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler. Row number 2 is going to be Austin Call and Carl Henderson here. And we mentioned, row number 2 is going to be Carl Henderson, Austin Call, and Matt Wagner. I apologize. I'm looking at the live timing and scoring. Everybody's not quite lined up here yet. So again, 31 laps roughly on fuel. Should make that be a 2-stop race. Of course, though, pit lane, very treacherous for those that are familiar with Atlanta Motor Speedway since the reconfiguration. NASCAR's actually made them enter pit road, entering turn number 3, and have to go pit speed all the way around 3 and 4. They don't do that here in iRacing. So basically, these guys have full speed at what they can do, but it's going to be up front. Kevin Freeze is going to lead the way here. Wait for that green flag. Green is out, and we are underway. 2023 Season 3, Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler leading the field to the green. Got one slow here at the start. Looks like everybody's going now, but definitely a little bit of a bobble there. Not sure where that was, but right now, though, trying to see where that all kicked off. But yeah, a little bit of a hiccup there on one of those trucks there on the initial get-go. I'm not sure, maybe missed a shift or not. Up front, though, everybody's looking pretty strong here, all staying pretty tightly together. Kevin Freeze is going to lead the first lap, and of course, need to mention bonus points. That was a big story for this past season because it came down to a tie. So Kevin Freeze, pole position, gets a bonus point. Leads the lap. That's another bonus point right there. So kind of +2 in the bank for that number 25 truck. You see a little bit of a gap here between that top 9 here. Daniel Paulus Jr. there, and then to Bud Steele in that number 6. Right now, Bud here just about a half second back, but now starting to close that gap with help from behind from Brandon Briggs in that 63 truck. I think he's actually going to formally be in the 18 truck. Just need to make a quick adjustment on that one for future races. And you got Matt Wagner there jumping to the 3rd lane, maybe deciding to roll back a little bit here early on. But noticing Ryan Decker starting to try to peek on that 2nd line, but not a lot of help as of yet. So right now, kind of the low line is the line to be. We can look out the back of that number 25 of Kevin Freeze. We'll pull up the driver info here, and you can see, Kevin with his high school graduation photo with his cat. It's an interesting choice, but I mean it's a choice nonetheless. Kevin always has a lot of fun with his driver info and everything like that, and I'm always here for it. So I'll say Kevin Dr. Evil Freeze right now. So I almost call him Mr. Freeze. He might need to change his his info driver picture there to the Batman character. So give him some ideas for future ones. But right now, Kevin doing a great job here, controlling this pace early. And again, not a lot of pressure because, again, he's got a teammate locked on behind him. But now we might start to see that second lane start to form here. I see Ryan Decker. He's got Bud Steele. Bud Steele definitely comfortable working with that the 48 car or truck. I'm still switching from Xfinity to trucks here too myself. Apologies. So yeah, those two definitely work well together. But I'm going to watch Austin calls. I could see that momentum shifting. Austin may be one to say, you know what, I want to try to pick up that top lane as well. So going to keep an eye out for Austin. See if maybe he tries to take that Lucky Charms machine to the front. But right now, opting to stay in that inside line and maybe some fuel saving strategy going on here early. But right now, all 20 trucks that started this race are still in this main pack. So that's definitely what they want to have here early on in this race. So let's go ahead and hop on board with that 6. We'll top on the roof of that 6 truck of Bud Steele. As you can see, right onto the rear here of, let's say we go from Dr. Evil, we go to Popeye now in the number 6 truck for the driver. Like I said, these guys have fun with it. And you can see, Ryan Decker's got the perfect sponsorship right on the back there, repping his wife's company there with that Sensi Toyota Tundra here in that 4D machine. So she's rooting him on as well because that gives her a little bit of extra TV time, a little bit of, close there. It almost caught the right rear quarter panel. And that's the concern with these trucks is you can get so close. Oh, caution actually out here towards the back. It looks like Daniel Paulus may have been. Yeah, I see the Butterfinger truck stopped. He is involved. I think we also have, the 51 of Jim Brooks, some nose damage to his truck. Oh, Hondo Longmire as well took a big shot here as well. So first caution is out for the evening, and that's going to be a fast repair for sure for Hondo here. Jim Brooks, yeah, you can see the hood flapping there. That he's got to be careful that hood doesn't flap all the way up and prevent him from being able to see there. So yeah, definitely I would say a fast repair as well in store for him. And I don't see Daniel. He may have had to take, no, actually he's still parked down on the bottom here, so some troubles there for him as well. Oh, the 76 Zachary Perry as well. So a number of trucks here involved in this one. You also see look at that damage to the 80 of Rudy Doden. So let's go back. Let's find this incident here and find out what exactly happened to bring out this yellow. We're going to have to try to hunt it down a little bit. It looks like it may have been... Well, I'm going to try to keep an eye around Zachary Perry here. Oh, actually, I think there's our answer. You see Daniel Paulus there up on that top side. Let's go ahead and back it up just a little further here. And it looks like just catches the wall here through the travel. You try to give too much room to the inside line. I've been there, done that, and unfortunately just bounces off the outside wall, and then that's going to ricochet him right into the path. And unfortunately, it's a candy on candy action there. The Butterfinger against the Reese's. Not sure if any bad blood between the two of them, but oh no. And this is where that's a brutal hit. And unfortunately, some net code as well there. And there's just nowhere for these trucks behind to go. And you see, Rudy almost had it checked up there, but unfortunately the 17 of Frank Ranger Jr. just couldn't quite get stopped. The 53, though, may have been quick on the brakes to get by fairly unscathed. So we'll jump back live here, though, and we'll focus on our leaders because pit stops have just occurred. And it looks like Ryan Decker is going to win the race out of pit road. However, we got a caution here. I'm going to step away for just a second because I've got a new commercial to show off here, and that is going to be courtesy, again, of our wonderful partners here with 4D Racewear. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
.4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, lights are off of the pace track, so we are going to go back to green this time by. And it looks like we mentioned Ryan Decker going to be the first one out of pit road. And I'm looking at some strategy, I have a feeling here. Yeah, those front trucks here looks like either fuel only or maybe 2 tires. However, from Kevin Freese, he actually wound up taking 4 tires, so he's going to drop back now outside the top 5. Same thing goes for Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad. So pretty much Colby Brooks, Matt Wagner, they did fuel only. They gained some track position as well, but right around pretty much roughly 8th on back here. We're going to have tires versus no tires, so this will be the first kind of real sense to see what kind of difference tires do make. And also, this should now throw this race still in a 2-stop strategy. Again, we talked about 31 roughly laps on this one for what they can go per tank. And right now, the biggest climber out of that, though, is this number 21 machine. That is Jacob Lee there. So definitely, I say he's hard to spot there because it's all that camouflage. But I see you got the Goon Motorsports there. And so I want to get a better look to get what that sponsor is on the back as well there. However, we're going to jump up front because it's Ryan Decker here going to control this restart. And on the restarts, leader has control, can go as early or late as they choose. Don't have the official restart zone. Looks like he's going to wait till green, and I think that's the right call here at the Super Speedways as he's going to start to go through the gears. Austin Call right behind him, and we'll watch out the back. And actually, you know what? We'll let you listen to these trucks here for a moment. You see the 48 actually kind of jump in between lanes. Matt Wagner, you saw him. He jumped to the inside. So, you know, this is looking a little dicier than I like right now. He's rolling out to the back here. And maybe for good cause because it was looking very dicey out there. As it looks like this time by it's going to be Bud Steele leading that lap. Get that bonus point for him in that number 6 Balehaven F-150. And then he's got Brandon Briggs right behind him. And we just mentioned that 21 of Jacob Lee. He's working his way towards the front there as well. Trying to run that second lane. You see Bud, he cleared. He gets to the bottom. But again, I'm curious. I'm going to be watching this second group here with Duke Conrad as well as the 25 of Kevin Freese. I'm going to be watching them to see how their progress goes. You see Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie right there as well. They also, again, those were some of those drivers that took 4 tires. And again, what we see right here, though, actually now that 63, I'm sorry. Again, it's going to show us the 18, but 63 in the paint job. We'll get that fixed for future races. Right now, you've got Brandon Briggs here working that second lane. Got help from that 21. Not sure if he led that last time by or not, but he would love to get a bonus point as well. I'd say I've been able to race with Brandon a fair bit over the couples of seasons here at the Area 51, and he's just been steadily improving and improving. And it's not a surprise to see him now getting to the point where he's up front here challenging for the lead. Initially, he would just try to stay kind of mid-pack, back of the pack, just try to mind his P's and Q's, but I think he's starting to build that confidence, and that's definitely what you want to see from these drivers over the course of these seasons. So definitely, I'll say, bias maybe a little bit, but definitely like to see those drivers make those gains after getting more and more laps under the belt. Poke around a few drivers we haven't chatted about. I mean, obviously, got to talk about Carl Henderson right there in that inside line, 4th truck on the bottom. He's got Fire Dog on the side of that F-150. So, again, broadcasted last season. He's got a baby on the way, so he's stepping back. But had an open evening tonight, so wanted to hop in the truck. And so definitely appreciated everything that Carl was able to give to us in 2023 Season 2. And definitely big congrats and early congratulations to him and his wife for the baby coming soon, so very excited for him for that, and also obviously a part of the reason for having to step away a little bit. And also got to give a shout out to Zach Workman and his wife, as they just had a baby girl a few nights ago as well. So definitely congrats to them on the birth of Brooklyn. Mom and daughter are doing well, so very excited for them as well. driver we have yet to talk about. And I know he's got a fan club. I don't see the fan club on YouTube yet. That's Jason Bogart in that number 10 truck. He's got Busch Light on the hood, running that Silverado right now and running just outside the top 5 at the moment, but I think is in the preferred line as things go here. So yeah, right now a good start for him right now, +4 from his starting position. So we'll keep an eye on Jason as the run goes on. And then there's the Candy on Candy Crime, the Reese's truck. He's back in, probably got the fast repair taken, and he's rolling again in that 76 Reese's truck of Zachary Perry. But right now, that's the inside line's been holding strong here. Bud Steele and Ryan Decker making that the bottom side work. And I think Brendan Briggs starting to get a little bit loose here. I think those lack of tires might actually start playing a role a little bit. And I think that's just maybe hampering that second lane a little bit here. And probably Kevin Freeze wanting to be able to use those fresh tires and get to the top. But right now he's kind of pinned behind these guys. But again, still a long ways to go, only on lap number 20. And yeah, there you go. 6-3 finally found an open. He goes straight to the bottom there. Try to get down as soon as he could. And actually it looked like for a moment, yeah, Austin had to kind of react, I think, to make sure he didn't make contact with him. So now we'll see, does the combo of the 21 and 25, does that maybe work a little better? Or is that 21 going to have the same handling issues with the fuel only stop that he took? As he as well only had a 6-second pit stop. So I'll have to keep an eye on that number 21, the Goon Motorsports on the side of that truck. But right now trying to hold strong here, see if we can get that push from Kevin. I do see lurking behind that 21 truck, though, is a couple of boot knockers. They're starting to get organized. You got the 25, you got the 8, and you got the 88. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 071 peek in there shortly as well. That will be the charge, I think, once, because they all took tires, so that's going to be the tires versus no tires. I want to see how that's going to work, but like I said, right now, though, and it's not a knock on Jacob by any means right now. He is by far the highest climber, +15 from his starting spot. But yeah, so that's going to be the truck I'm going to be keeping an eye on, as I think Kevin probably wants to try to sneak by him if he can. But again, early to make any bold moves here at this point. So we'll see right now, a lap on 24 here of 90. And again, these drivers pitted at lap number 9, so they should be able to go to, big bobble there by the 21. You see, I think Kevin said, okay, you know what, I'm going to try to get around you here and probably try to jump back up in front of him, I have a feeling. But yeah, there he goes. He's going to jump right back up top there. But the problem is, though, that 21 still may not be able to get the push that he's looking for. But I think Kevin's got the tires and he's got the truck underneath him that he's wanting. Just now he needs to find the help he's looking for. Yeah, so fuel-wise, though, I want to say these guys probably can go to about lap 40 based on that 30 lap, I should say, fuel window. We do run reduced fuel here in both series, the Sundays and the Thursday nights. Set tonight here to 60%, and it might adjust a little bit based on the track, as this one definitely, I would say, burns the least amount of fuel just because it's a 1.5 mile oval compared to the 2+ miles for iRacing, Super Speedway, Talladega, and Daytona. But yeah, right now, though, this combo Bud Steele, Ryan Decker are working very strong here. But I'll be keeping an eye on Kevin Freeze as this run goes on. Jump back a little further here. You got the 66 here of Gary Winters. Looks like sporting a new paint scheme on that Silverado, that number 66 truck. So the problem is it goes so quick, but it's hard to see. But I believe it says Latesburger, if I'm not mistaken. So hope once we get some interview times with these drivers, get all those top 3 interviews, wait for Gary to get one, and we'll be able to find out exactly what late burger is, because it already sounds appealing to me here, as it's, let's say, for me it's a little earlier. I'm over in Arizona, so it's about 6 o'clock, so right around that dinner time. So yeah, that always sounds like a good thing. You see that second lane starting to push a little bit more slowly but surely. But you can see now, I think that 6 is starting to drift off the bottom. Yeah, you see a lot of these trucks are starting to really kind of drift up a lane or so. Again, they're about just over, actually about 20 laps now, I should say, into this run. So yeah, so probably about 10, absolute max, I'd say 15 laps until the fuel window. And the drivers know they are to call out their pit entry once they're ready to start making those pit stops. So the drivers up front leading most of this time, like the 6 and the 48, they will most likely have to pit earlier than some of those that maybe have been able to stay in the back and save a little bit of fuel here in the draft. But man, I'm just watching though, especially the trial. These trucks seem to be getting a little sketchy, a little bit uncomfortable for these guys. So to keep an eye on them. And again, we talked about some of those drivers having to take those fast repairs. We know Hondo Longmire in that 43 truck. So he's on the hood. He's everywhere. He's the fuel man. Say really, really fun guy. Enjoy hanging out with him and racing with him. Right now he's back in 14th position. Had to burn that fast repair, but that's the nice part about having that one fast repair is you kind of have that one mulligan, if you will. So hopefully Hondo's able to make the most of it. As you see Kevin Freeze, he's getting there. He's got his nose just ahead of that 6 truck. Second lane usually has the momentum out of turn 2. But right now these guys are running right nose to tail here as they go through 3-4. About to complete lap 30 and start lap 31. But you can see the difference in comfort in these trucks. Those trucks that took tires, they look stable, they look comfortable, but man, that 21 truck, just you can see right there again, just has that big wiggle to it. And again, I think that's just the sign of the tires. Again, they pitted around lap number 9. So right now at this point, they've got about 30 laps on their original tires, whereas Kevin Freeze and company, they've got about 20 laps. And I think those 10 laps are starting to show the difference. As they said, this is about the max that these guys have gone. Oh, Brandon Briggs had a little moment there on the entry into one. Hung on to it, but slowed that second lane down, or the inside lane, I'm sorry, just down a little bit there. You see that truck length of gap between them. But he'll be able to regroup and kind of pull that truck right back up into this mix. But right now I'm watching a handful of trucks. I think they're just trying to ride and play it safe, just to be sure, because like I said, it's getting very close to where strategies are going to start to unfold. Still 2-stop races. Yet there goes Kevin. He's going to clear, get to the inside line in front of that 6 of Bud Steele. Another driver to talk about is Frank Ranger here. This is smart. Right now he's the only truck 1 lap down. So what is he doing? He's staying right at the back of the lead pack, staying in the draft, but make sure he has nobody around him. If something happens in front, he can roll out of the gas, avoid the wreck, and get his free pass. So really like the strategy out of that number 17 truck here. See the other 2 boot knocker trucks. Now they're trying to see if they actually all 3, I should say. Well, 3 of the 4, I should say. Trying to see if they can push that 21 clear. They do. And so that's going to slide him in front of Kevin Freeze. What I would expect to see now is if Kevin can maybe now clear, watch for him to jump up in front of his teammate, but can't quite do it here. And then 21 wasn't sure if he needed to try to jump up or stay low. And he's going to stay low there because it looked like for a second the 25 was going to peek his nose underneath him. But I do see trucks starting to position themselves to get ready for pit stops. But I would expect now to see a big charge from the second line, I should say, being led by Dude Conrad and Gabe Butler, with Eric Laurie there in that 3rd line. So far, no takers yet onto pit road. And again, we talked about the fuel mileage being about 30 laps, so they need to get to lap number 40. I got to do my math a little bit better here. Sorry. They needed to get to lap 30, I'm sorry, to be able to make it to then about 60 to then make it to the end. So actually, it's still a 2-stop race, but they can go a little further. But man, these guys are starting to definitely feel the handling there. So, you see the 08 there and the 21 make a little bit of contact there. But looks like they're able to gather back up. And so this is now where those 2 trucks up top here are going to try to lock on, see if they can charge to the front and be able to have a clean entry on the pit road. Because, again, right now, just the way everything's been going, they're going to want to try to get a clean entry with each other. You can see, I think they're trying to get each other all in. And this is exactly what you want as a team. You've got all the 4 boot knockers all lined up together on the inside lane here. with now Gabe Butler taking the point. Again, our co-champion, again, didn't have a tiebreaker in rule in effect. So our co-champion in the 88 last season, he's trying to pick up where he left off last season. But be ready to watch these guys. You're going to start to see trucks very soon duck off onto pit road. And this is where that communication is going to be extremely crucial to be able to call out, hey, I'm pitting, and then try to get off the track and be able to just basically be able to not get run over on the entry, because this is a very, very difficult pit entry. And again, when these trucks are going as quick as they are, which let's find out how quick they are officially going here. Find our speed here just a moment. 175, about 180 it looks like down the straight, so maybe touching 185 when they're in the big draft pack. And so yeah, so basically having to go from 185 to about 55, and of course then also progressing down off the banking. It's a very, very difficult chore to do. But again, the thing that I'm watching the most is these top 4 trucks, they all pitted for tires. So I think tires could play a role. I mean, these are also 4 very talented drivers, but I think tires will play a role, and we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. Looks like we have our first set of drivers on pit road. Oh, Ryan Decker. Oh, Quabi Brooks as well. It looks like hangs on to it. Unfortunately, I think the driver getting the worst out of that was the 48 of Ryan Decker. We'll go back and check what happened to him. But you see Bud Steele and Austin Call on pit road. Let's go back just a little. Well, actually, we'll try to go back in a moment, but I have a feeling pit stops are about to kick off really quickly here. So we'll jump back up front and watch to see if our leaders are coming in or if they're going to continue to go further. Looks like further is the answer. Here comes Jacob Lee. Oh, Hondo Longmire as well. Oh, way too hot there. I believe both those trucks are going to have a speeding penalty, unfortunately, for those guys. So that's the risk reward as well. You try to get an aggressive entry, and unfortunately, sometimes it'll bite you. So it does look like Austin Call, Bud Steele, and Quabi Brooks in and out of pit road clean. I'll still have to keep an eye on Ryan Decker to see when he's going to come in and come out. Here comes Carl Henderson. He is heading onto pit road as well. That looks like a good pit entry for Carl there. Nice and controlled down to speed and time. And yeah, sure enough, Jacob and Hondo both still being held onto pit road here, while the Bootknockers trying to break away a little bit right now. And I like this idea of going long. I think this is definitely a good call. As you can see right now, it's also put all those trucks that pitted a lap down. And I thought I saw the 8 truck back. Yeah, okay, here we go. They're hitting the pit road right now. Oh, contact, I think, behind. I think Jim Brooks got a little bit of a shot there. An entry's got to avoid the cone. I think he just did, but maybe a little bit of rear end damage, possibly for the 51. But should get away with it, I think. Let's say the front damage is what's more important, and that's going to file things around now to these trucks here. Matt Wagner, Zach Perry, and Jason Bogart. I would presume probably just trying to run it as far out as they could, probably saving fuel that entire run. So expect to see these guys make a sharp left on the pit road here. And yeah, here the 3 of them come to complete our pit stop cycles. Ooh, Matt was locked him down, hopefully able to get Woe down in time as well. So now we just got to wait for everything to cycle around, because right now we have a number of drivers just still sitting on pit road. Ryan Decker did make it on the pit road as well. And it looks like this should just about complete. This should complete the cycle. I think right now it looks like Gabe Butler is going to be the first out of pit road. So I think we'll see how it all shakes out, but it looks like it's, yeah, and I think really the big winner to me on this one is Gary Winters. Looks like jumping out in second position here in that 66. And again, I think some strategy about 2 tires, 4 tires. But yeah, here they come. Here comes Bud Steele to work on that momentum here on the top. He's going to try to see if he can get back to the point. He's got help from Austin Call. I mentioned that pit stop by Carl Henderson as well. I think Carl had a really good in and out as well. But here comes Matt Wagner. He's still building up speed in that 11 truck. And that is a great pit stop for Matt Wagner. In and out. Looks like, I believe, a 2-tire stop. But look at the gap he has. So he is able to sneak away a little bit. And they're still going to chase him back down. But he's at least got a little bit of time before they get to him, as he'll be our halfway leader in this race. And yeah, just waiting to see, let everything kind of officially cycle back around. But Looks like we're going to have a lead pack of about 9 trucks from Matt Wagner back to Dude Conrad and Eric Laurie. And then it's going to be about 5 seconds back to the second pack here with Zach Perry, Jason Bogart, Jim Brooks, and Rudy Doden. And we have a couple of trucks kind of broken off here and there as well. So, but yeah, right now, though, you see Bud Steele. He's got back to the point, but here comes the Boot Knockers. They're lined up once again up top here. You got the 88, you've got the 25, you've got the 08, and you've got the 071. Those teammates are aligned on that top side, and we saw what they were able to do last time. And I'm looking at the pit stops, pretty much 4 tires around the board. The only driver in this main pack that took 2 include the 11 of Matt Wagner and the 66 of Gary Winters. But importantly, it allowed them to stay in this main pack, so I think that is the right call for those 2 guys. So I think a good call by them. And you can see the timing and scoring on the left side there. Unfortunately, the drivers that seem to have kind of got hurt the most out of this include that 21 of Jacob Lee. Frank Ranger Jr. was already lapped down prior to the pit stop, so he still sits 1 down. And then unfortunately, Honda Longmire, I think he's got the worst of it. He's now down 4 laps, unfortunately, but still on track. So again, still a lot of time. You never know how it's all going to shake out, but right now you see Gabe's got to the point now. Kevin trying to get that push from Jude Conrad. And yeah, so you talk about teamwork, and that's exactly what these guys are trying to do. And that's really what you have right now is kind of sets of teams right now. You got the Boot Knockers as well as the Roswell team. That's the 64, the 6 and the 64 on that inside line. So yeah, right now they're trying to do what they can to try to keep those Boot Knockers honest right now on that inside and outside lines.
This track at Atlanta or, the super speedways, the traditional value, these guys seem to always have a game plan for, blocking both lines and be able to pretty much put things on lockdown. But as you cross halfway through this race, this has been a great season opener, I would think, and no better place to start at Atlanta.
Yeah, no, this is a really, I say there's kind of decisions like, okay, where do you want to start the season opener? Last season it was iRacing Super Speedway. Maybe the 240 plus was a little bit too chaotic. But yeah, so it's been a really good opener so far. I'm watching lap times right now, Chris, and right now the top group, last time by they ran 31:37s. So then you have to jump back to the second pack being led by that Reese's machine of Zach Perry. 31:18 actually, so about 0.2 of a second quicker for these guys. So we'll see if maybe Zach Perry, Jason Bogart, Jim Brooks, Rudy Doden, Brandon Briggs, maybe they can try to lock on with each other and just be a little bit more aggressive on the pushing. To try to close that gap. But again, still plenty of time to go. 40 laps left in this race. Like I said, did cross the halfway point, but still 1 pit stop to go in it. And I think that's going to be the question for me, Chris, is when do you blink? When do you make that final pit stop? Because I'm hearing 30 laps on fuel. Of course, you want to account for green, white, checkered, but maybe if you're the Boot Knockers, and I think I'm seeing exactly what I was about to say with the Boot Knockers is, look where they are. They've dropped back behind the top 4 trucks, because now they can pit and the other trucks would have to react the following lap. They can't try to tuck in with them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely a strategy to do. I would say if you want to save as much fuel as possible, you don't want to be the guys leading. You don't want to be the first 2 leading. Even with, saying that, you want to stay as close to get the draft right off the corners. These guys don't get as close as where Daytona and Talladega, where they're usually bumping each other down the way, but you don't want to be so far off that you might get a little bit of action there, as Kevin Freese gets an actual nice bump going into turn 3 right there. But if you're looking, where everyone else is running right now, you're kind of just trying to let off the gas, maybe go 85, 75% on the throttle, just so you save enough gas. And if you do that for enough times, you'll see that the guys up front might actually not want to be there near the first round or the next round of pit stops.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say. I think right now, I want to say everybody's pretty happy with where they are, kind of for like, okay, hey, I'm controlling the race right now if you're Bud Steele, because there's no strategy on fuel. Everybody can make it to the end on one more stop. Because basically, like I said, they can go about 30 laps on fuel. They pitted around lap 40, so in theory, they can go to about 70. So about with 20 to go or so, roughly, that some of these drivers could hit pit road. Of course, the big question for us, Chris, would be whether or not if they can maybe save the fuel like you're talking about, maybe turn it into a 1 can of fuel instead of having to plug that second can in. That would make a lot of difference on pit road. And then, of course, the big thing here at Atlanta is a lot of trucks, they, like I said, they do like to take 4 tires instead of 2. They feel like tires make enough of a difference, kind of like the old Daytona back in the day, where tires actually mattered. That's kind of what Atlanta's really done with the Super Speedway game as well. It's not all just fuel and tires, kind of don't worry about those. Just get the fuel in and go. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see kind of, how this is all going to pan out. But I think right now, I think everybody's kind of content. Like I said, I think Bud Steele and company, they're happy leading this thing, just kind of feeling like they have control. But like I said, the ones I'm going to be watching are from 5th on back. They're going to, I think, try to kind of play that little snooker move and be like, yep, here we go. I'm going to make a quick late call to pit and hope that you're all ready for what we're about to do here. But that said, though, the second pack, they're continuing to gain ground a little bit, about 0.2 of a second that last time by. It's down to about 5 seconds between Eric Laurie and Zach Perry. So still a ways to go, but they are gaining ground. So if they can stay committed to each other, they are moving in the right direction there.
Yeah, and if you look at the the front pack, these guys aren't necessarily leaning on that red line. Usually we talk about a yellow line, but they're not necessarily leaning on that bottom line right there. They are trying to save a little bit of tires by doing that. Even those half a lane up or even a full lane up, that is saving some tires. So if they don't have to take tires, which I think this being a new surface, they still might have to do a little bit into that. But to save tires and do all that other stuff, you have some guys that are starting to peak on the outside, and they're getting pretty decent runs by just running the half lane up. So there's a lot of strategy to be played for here, and I think if these guys, kind of in the middle of this front pack, decide that they want to start passing each other, saving tires is going to be very, very crucial as they're trying to get around the next pack on the bottom.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And to me, I think if I'm in this pack right here, I think my plan is, if I can, 1 can of fuel, 2 tires, and send it on my way. Because I want to be in pit road as little as I can, because, I mean, that's a 10-second stop compared to, I'd say, about a 13, 14-second stop. And that's enough. If you can have everybody on the same page with you and your team, that's enough to break away from the draft and make them have to really work hard to chase you back down. But you see on the timing and scoring on the left, you see the lap time showing, as this time by Bud Steele goes a little quicker with a 31.66. We'll wait for that next pack to come on around, and you see again being led by the 76, and 31.40. So again, about 0.2 quicker. And I mentioned about a few laps ago, it was about 5 seconds between Eric and Zach, down to about 4 seconds. So they have gained a full second in that second pack. So like I said, they are doing the work right now to try to get up
down
there.
now. Ooh, that was
here comes the pit stops.
A little scary. Yeah,
and this is the strategy.
Very tight spaces off of 3 right there, and I saw Bud Steele get a little bit sideways, and I think same thing for Kevin Freeze, but they got in there pretty tightly.
And that was what I was talking about. So they're pitting coming at 30 to go. So basically they said, you know what, as soon as we're in the window, let's come in. We're going to try to come out together, and then we're going to try to do our big draft here. So now the question is, do we see the response? So you see Eric Laurie, he's in pit road already. Jude Conrad, he's already down and away. So let's see. Yeah, here they come. Here's the response. Bud Steele, Austin Call, Matt Wagner trying to squeeze the gap there.
Ooh, that was tight.
And yeah, and sure enough, actually, you know what? I'm saying fuel only stops actually for the boot knockers here, because they only had 7 seconds on pit road. So quick stop for them. But you can see they all came out together. Just a little bit of separation from the 4 of them. And here's the interesting too, is they're going to come out actually right in front of that group we were just talking about with the 76 and company. So what do they do now? Because once Carl Henderson pits in, here he comes now. They're basically on the tail end of the lead lap here, Chris. So, and actually, as I said, here they come. Oh, Gabe Butler actually back onto pit road, possibly an unsafe pit exit. So that's a heartbreaker for Gabe there in the 88. That's going to change things a little bit more for him as everything cycles around. Right now we have a few trucks going a little longer, though. So right now the 53 of Quabi Brooks, he's decided to stay out. Maybe he's trying to snag a lap lead in that 53 truck. Or maybe steal some TV time out of that 7-Eleven F-150. So we'll wait and see, because he'll complete the cycle from the leaders. But it looks like once it's done, it will be Duke Conrad, Eric Laurie, Kevin Freeze, our top 3. And then looking to see, and here they are. Yeah, Gary Winters, Austin Call. They're right there with him. Here comes Carl Henderson trying to get up to speed back and try to hold on to that draft. I don't think he'll make it. But it definitely separated the pack here, though, Chris, because now we've got about a 5-truck breakaway, it looks like. And I think the boot knockers are going to try to turn it into a 3-truck breakaway if they can stay aggressive on this drafting.
Yeah, this is very much where they excel at, season in and season out. These guys definitely know how to get into the pits, and then somehow they kind of just walk away from the rest of the competition. But with this 5 truck thing, I've seen some people kind of break up. I think people actually took some tires there when they didn't mean to. There's not a lot of time for you to get all the way down to the apron, get it wheeled up, and keep the car straight. So some of these guys might have checked the wrong box here, and it looks like I think Matt Wagner actually took some tires, so he's a little bit farther back than he wants to. Looking at where the rest of the field's at, I think this is going to be a good five car, actually six truck pack right now.
Yeah, you're right. So they did catch back up. So good job there by Gary Winters, Austin Call to stay in this main pack. They're putting Frank Ranger there, I believe, a second lap down, or actually, no, I think still one down. I don't think Frank's made his final pit stop yet. However, the 53 truck of Quavi Brooks, he's just going to run this thing along. And the thing is, what's working for him is he's in a pack right now. So he's still making pretty decent lap times as he's in this draft pack. So I'm looking at lap times. It's not nearly what he wants to be running because, again, the other trucks are trying to work hard to break away from the rest of them. But, I mean, he's able to save fuel. He's not running by himself. And if he gets a timely caution, I mean, that could throw the rest of the field in, and he can be the leader on pit road, get 4 tires, fuel, and come back out and see where he cycles around. So right now he's in an interesting position here where he can kind of choose when he wants to come in. Like I said, I want to say he's going to have to pit, though, in about 4 to 5 laps here based on that 30-lap fuel tank.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at kind of like where these guys pitted. I think the first group that pitted nailed this perfectly, where it was 30 laps to go. We're at 23 to go right now. And as the packs are around, these guys, the second pack where Mac Wagner's at, these guys are getting off turn 2 right now as the front pack is already... Big wreck.
Oh, yeah, caution is out. Gary Winters got loose on entry, got involved with Austin Call. You see the motor blown on the 66 truck. Austin grabbing a gear and going again. And Carl Henderson, he's going to try to sneak through here. That's going to bring out the caution. That's what we just said. I don't know if that's commentator's curse or if that's probably some brotherly love there, because that's exactly what I think that 53 was looking for. But yeah, it was a bobble, though, by Gary Winters here. Let's go back and we'll take a look at it one more time, Chris. We'll focus on that truck. So we can get it pulled up here. We're going to focus on Gary in the 66. And you already see it's already kicked off here, so let's back it down a little further. And you can see on the entry of turn 3, that truck just gets loose.
Yeah, it was very, very
I think that's
right there.
That's the lack of tires. It's just these trucks' tires matter. And so he saves it, but unfortunately in the process of saving it, you see a little bit of contact between he and Austin Call. You see the 48 there able to sneak around there, Ryan Decker, and then unfortunately just kind of the accordion after the fact, they get back together again, and that's where they hook, and then they go into the outside wall. So that's going to bring out our second yellow of the evening. And unfortunately the 17 truck there, Frank Ranger, just wrong place, wrong time, as he made some decent contact there with the outside wall as well. So let's jump back live, though, because the 53, he is on pit road. Looks like 4 tires and fuel going on that truck. He is down and away. Kevin Freeze on pit road as well. And so here you go. Here's strategy one more time here. The 53, he's going to roll off as the first truck with tires. Carl Henderson, Bud Steele, Matt Wagner staying out on their older tires.
I don't know. After watching what just happened, I don't know if you want to stay out older tires. I mean, these guys just did pit, but some of them didn't take tires. And if Matt, I think Matt actually had a set that he put on one of the sides of his tires right there. So he might be good for it, but everyone else that did take tires, if they're going to restart, that's going to be a little bit sketchy if these guys have a little bit of wheel spinning. But unfortunate right there for that wreck. It looked like he honestly just put a little bit too much, input in the steering angle, and then just the truck did not want to, listen to him. So that was a little bit interesting. I didn't see that out of anybody earlier on in the race. So that was very, very odd.
Yeah, so while we're under caution, we'll step away one more time for a quick break so you can get our sponsor, 4D Racewear, and check out what they have to offer here. So stay tuned.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, quick one there because we're going back to green, and it's going to be our broadcaster of last season here, Carl Henderson, is going to lead the way on this restart. Then you got Bud Steele, Matt Wagner, and Dude Conrad the first two rows, and it's kind of split up the boot knockers here because you saw Gabe Butler, he got the wave around here to get back onto the lead lap after his penalty. And so that is going to lead. I'm sorry, actually, he was 2 down. That brings him back to 1 lap down. So I believe he and Ryan Decker are going to be battling for the lucky dog position between that 48 and the 88. These two right there. And then from 1st to 13th are still on the lead lap. And so, yeah, so we're going to have to wait and see how it's all going to shake out. But, yeah, so the boot knockers are split up a little bit. And also a very mixed strategy here on tires and fuel. And so we still got 19 to go here on this restart.
Yeah, that's going to be, I don't know how this is going to work out. I mean, some of these guys didn't take tires, so we're going to have a little bit of a weird restart here. But we got 14 cars on the lead lap here, and everyone's still in contention, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how it's going to shake out. Still plenty of racing to go here. Fuel is out of the question. Everybody can make it to the end from here as they go back to green. Carl Henderson leading the inside line, being pushed by Matt Wagner. I would expect to see those two stay committed to each other on that inside line. And then Dude Conrad, I think basically right now his best friend is whoever can help him get to the front. So I think Dude's going to push anything that has a bumper that he can get his hands on.
Yeah, a little bit of a slight hesitation for the guys, 4th or 5th on the row back. But Matt Wagner's been pushing. He's been pushing Carl Henderson pretty hard around these corners here. So I think the bottom line right now has the advantage. We already have one truck up in front, and I think Matt Wagner wants to be that second guy just so he can clear Carl if he wants to make that pass.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you can clear one of the lanes, that's a big deal because then you kind of have choice of where you want to be. But right now, it's not for lack of effort. Both these trucks in that second line, the 11 and the 8, they're just pushing these guys for all they're worth. Oh, Matt with a little bobble on entry, almost the 28 a little bit of a bobble as well. But while that all happened, though, Dude Conrad able to push Bud Steele to the front. And now Dude's going to wait for his pusher because he's got a little way to go until he can get to that 64 of Austin Call. And then you also see right there is Jason Bogart. I saw the Jason Bogart fans peeking in on the YouTube chat. Say he's listening because he's worked his way up now into the top 6 here. 3rd truck on the outside line. So he's going to try to get a top 3 because he wants to thank all those fans on YouTube on his interview. So we still got 16 to go here, Chris, at the line. But right now, Bud Steele leading the way. But here comes that second lane. Dude Conrad getting a big push down the front.
Yeah, he got a shot right out of turn 4 right there and going across the dog leg right there. Very much he had the momentum going into the turn. I think he had to let off to be able to make it around here. Everyone's pretty much even right now as we're going into the turns. Obviously, we talked about Bogart's right there. I think he really has a good shot. He's in a nice place right now where he can kind of just settle in. He doesn't necessarily have to push and be aggressive as the rest of these guys, the front 4 right now. But I'm looking right now. There's a little bit of shifting about 5 or 6 rows back. And I think these guys are getting ready to start making a big push, possibly 3 wide as we're coming to the end of this.
And I was about to say the same thing, Chris. Is we haven't seen the third lane come into play yet. I say yet because I think it's going to happen. At some point, one of these trucks is going to say, you know what? They don't have tires. I've got better tires. I think I could push around these guys. And you'll see someone run that third lane. And the nice part about Atlanta is, the lanes are very, very easily defined. You'll see the stripes. You'll see the seams. However, following those seams is easier said than done when you're going 180 miles an hour and then you've got these trucks right on your quarter panels. I just saw right there the 21 truck peeking to the outside there for a moment of Jacob Lee. I'm not sure if he wants to go. Here goes Kevin Freeze. I say if there was someone who was going to go 3, it was going to be Kevin.
Oh, he's holding it though. They're holding it. It's gonna be a real tight squeeze coming off 4 right here. But these guys are definitely holding it as he's the middle line. I don't know who that was in the middle, but he's kind of getting sucked in a little bit of good draft right there. And he's going for it one more time. I think Kevin Freeze he's found something right there.
Yeah, you see Dude Conrad. He said, "You know what? I'm going to pick up my teammate here on that third lane, and we're going to try to make things happen." Oh, you see the 21 just kissed the wall there. But he's all right there. But, man, here we go. 3x3 heading into turn 3. Dude's going to clear the second lane. Still side by side with the 6 of Bud Steele. But now Kevin Freeze, he's trying to kind of work both lanes here with that 8 truck. And there you go. Look at Kevin. He's going to try to go to the outside here pretty much by himself right now. But here comes Jason Bogart. He saw what Kevin was able to do and said, yeah, I'm in. I want to do this too.
Yeah, that was these guys are still doing it. We have a big wreck right there.
The whole
the leaders
field.
are wrecking too.
Oh, the whole field's involved. You see the 8 there.
Oh, man.
The 25's involved. The 64, the 53, the 17 I saw in there as well. This is going to be one of those of who wasn't involved in this. So big wreck here with 12 to go at the line. You see the front bumper of Jim Brooks' truck just popped off there. Oh my goodness, let's go back here. We're going to take another look because it just got too tight. I mean, but again, it's time to go. You got to make the move. So we're going to focus initially here on Bud Steele. See if we can get a better look at it. And oh yeah, you see the contact sheet. It starts with Carl Henderson and Austin Call. So let's go back a little bit. Let's see if I can find a better. Here we go. This will be a little better angle. And they just get together. I don't really think I wouldn't put it on either of them. And then you see right here, it looks like Bud Steele's good. Then he gets caught just in the right rear. You see Matt Wagner making a sharp left to sneak by there. Jim Brooks tried to follow, couldn't quite make it. That's where he gets his nose damage. I think also that was where the 46 truck, I believe it was. But yeah, I mean, oh man, then I'm watching Kevin Freeze go almost up and over there. The 17, the 53, the 43, just everybody collected here. Although I'm watching Gabe Butler quick on the brakes there as well in the 88. I think maybe got through here. So let's jump back live, though, because now it's strategy time.
It's getting insane.
I'm looking at second place right now here, Chris, and I don't know if they've had a chat or not, but we'll look off the back of Matt Wagner's truck, and there's a little bit missing out of that number 51 here.
A little where's Waldo? What's that other book? I Spy. You know, we're kind of having to play that with the rest of Matt's truck.
Well, we saw the front bumper of the 51 truck. It was laying in turn number 3. I don't think the crew's going to be able to go get it back. But I just wonder if Jim's thinking, you know what, it's not going to work if I try to stay out here. And I didn't mention, I believe, I'm trying to see about if there was a wave around on that yellow. I think it actually may have been the 76 of Zach Perry, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I show him right now as the last car in the lead lap. And I'm also still showing the 48 and the 88 still trapped a lap down. So I believe those trucks did not get their lap back. And again, we're going to throw into the strategy again here, though, Chris, because top 3 stayed out. Matt Wagner pitted at lap 61, Jim Brooks 69, and he's got significant damage. Brandon Briggs at 69 as well, but he took 4 tires and fuel. And then you've got Bud Steele and Kevin Freeze. They came in just for a quick fast repair, so no fuel, no tires, just a fast repair. And then you've got Jason Bogart, Eric Laurie. They took 4 tires on this pit stop. So very, very mixed strategies here as we've got the 1 to go. And we're going to restart this thing with 8 laps remaining. And I hate to say it, but I'm very worried right now about that 51 truck.
Yeah, not too sure how that truck's going to get off the line once we start going green, and if it can hold its speed correctly. Because that's another thing. You probably get around the first 2 corners here, and then all of a sudden, once you're on the straight, there's going to be a big gap of difference there as the cars behind you are going to try to get around you. But going back to that last caution, the middle and third lines are honestly just trying to squeeze that bottom line for what it's worth and kind of just bleed out its runs right there. And I think that's kind of what happened. We just didn't have the guys open up the space on the outside line necessarily, and then obviously you're just running so close that any little bit of a deflection there is probably going to cause a big wreck. But we saw for 2-3 laps that these guys they were handling it pretty well, and Kevin Freeze was He gained about 6 positions in 2 laps right there, and that's very hard to do. Even though this is a speedway track, it's still a pretty narrow course. So for him to do that, within 2 laps, we might see something like that again coming to the finish here.
Yeah, I don't think we're done, unfortunately, because like I said, I worry about that 51 truck. I mean, even if he gets up to the top, if he doesn't get up to speed, I feel like it's just gonna be it's gonna be a concern to me. So we'll see. I'll say it's gonna be Matt Wagner. He's got control of this restart. He's got Brandon Briggs behind him, and then up top you got Jim Brooks, Bud Steele. As we are back to green here, 8 to go, and right now, I mean, the 51's getting through the gears decently. But I think, yeah, there you go. He's already starting to hold up that top line, and look at the top 3 rows already going on by. There goes Jim. He's gonna jump to the top here, and hopefully able to stay clear, and we can continue under green. But yeah, that's about the best, I think, outcome we could have hoped for. But look at Brandon Briggs here. We got a couple of trucks looking for their first win here in Area 51. The 63, I believe, is one of them. The 11 is looking for his first Super Speedway win. And then you got Quabi Brooks now onto the back of the 11 truck of Matt Wagner. I believe Quabi also pitted there for tires. So pretty equal equipment right now. But Kevin Freeze locked onto that 63 here as we go into turn number 1. Whoa, man, that was close. But the 25 clears. And you see Matt right on the bump. He's going to try to push at 25 now. He's going to try to push him back clear. And this is, I mean, Kevin, again, he's got not fresh tires. He's got a fast repair in hand. So he's in a good spot here as Matt's going to push him easily clear. Now Matt's going to cut low. Nice move by the 11 here.
Right there.
Yeah, they're making the moves now here.
I was afraid at the beginning. I thought Matt had a little bit more damage than he started having a parachute, but it looks like that's just how the runs are working right now, where you get a massive run. The guy on the bottom kind of just gets parachuted out, and then the person around there is getting a good run. Matt might try to block that high side from Kevin Freeze, but it looks like that outside line, if you can get the good run out 2, possibly 4, you definitely are able to clear the next truck and try to get in front of that.
Yeah, some big moves and big pushes happening. I say, obviously, Kevin's feeling real confident because he's got a teammate behind him in Eric Laurie pushing. 63 is doing everything he can to help that 11 because that's going to help him as well. And we've got 5 to go here. And again, we're not done yet because we don't know how it's going to end. We do have 3 attempts of a green-white checkered should we need it. As packed up as you are here, Chris, I have a feeling that could come into play. As man, these trucks are bobbling. Oh, almost contact there by the 63 and the 25 on entry. But they stay off of one another here as we're approaching 4 to go at the line. It's anybody's guess here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the heat exposure might be, but I do see Quabi kind of ducking a little bit underneath Matt. Matt might not be holding his line correctly as much as he wants to, but it looks like Quabi's getting a good enough air to stay directly on Matt's bumper to be able to push him. But a little bit more speed, he might be able to turn Matt, unfortunately. So these guys are definitely going to have to hold their lines just a little bit tighter. Another big wreck.
So far, we stay green. Caution's out now. Zach Perry, unfortunately, involved. I think Carl Henderson. Yeah, he's had. Actually, I think he might be taking a tow here. But unfortunately, that Reese's truck is pretty banged up there as well. And caution is back out. And that is going to be exactly what we just talked about, Chris. Attempt number 1 coming here of a green-white checkered. And at the time of caution, it looks like Matt Wagner had the lead. So let's go back and take a look at the contact here, as it was right around, I believe. You already see it kicking off there with Carl Henderson, Zach Perry. So let's back it up just a little bit more here. And, oh, actually, no, it kicks off right off the bat here. So, yeah, let's get a better angle of this one here. It should be a good angle here. So I'll focus on Carl Henderson there, along with that 76 truck. And again, a lot of these trucks may have not had tires. So, I mean, these things, we saw how loose they were getting. And actually, you see right there, I saw the 76 kind of right in the bumper of the 8 truck of Dude Conrad. I think that drifted him up into the Carl Henderson truck. That got him loose. And unfortunately, in that contact, that right hooks the 76 into the wall. Those two make contact. Gabe Butler just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately. And then that's where the two of them continue to have that contact here. As you see the 48 there trying to sneak on by and avoid any additional contact. And so that is the cause of this most recent yellow here. So unfortunately, not the night Gabe was looking for here. Hasn't had the luck he would like to have. But again, we're on race 1 here of 12 in the season. Again, 8 race regular season, then a 4 race playoff. So it's getting there here, Chris, I'll say. So I believe next time by, most likely the 1 to go. Teammates up top, with the 25 and 071. But then you've got Matt Wagner on the inside line with Brandon Briggs as a pusher, and then Quabi Brooks and Bud Steele in row 3. But then you can't count on some of those guys again. Jason Bogart, he took 4 tires on that previous yellow. Jude Conrad as well, Rudy Doden. So there's some trucks in position here still. And I'm still looking at this modified of Jim Brooks, who still decided, you know what, I'm still not going to pit this thing. I mean, he's getting a lot of good airflow to the front of that truck, though, so it shouldn't have any temperature issues, but definitely has seen better days. But here we go, Chris. Attempt number 1 for those at home who maybe haven't watched us before. The way it works is there will be 3 attempts of a green-white checkered. If they make it to the white flag, at that point, all bets are off. It's who gets to the flag first, within reason, obviously. However, if a caution comes out before they get to the white flag, they'll have 2 more attempts to do it. But on that 3rd and final attempt, should a caution come out even before the white flag, it will be field to be frozen. That will be where they finish for the evening. So they got 3 chances of it. This is attempt number 1. And man, this is going to be dicey here. It's going to be strategy, and I think, like you said, what lane is the lane to be in? Can Matt clear the 25? And if he does he try to slow the momentum down, or does he stay committed to that 63 behind him and just hope he gets the push he needs to win tonight?
Man, I don't know. If I'm sitting there in that second line, I definitely want to. If I'm sitting there on the bottom of that second line right there, I want to be able to push, get out in front. And by the time we make it around the next lap, if I'm able to go on that outside and get a good run, I don't think someone's going to get me to the next side of that line. So looking at where Quabi's at, he's in a very good position where he's able to kind of dictate who's going to win this race with the pushing of that bottom side. That bottom side usually gets the run going to the backstretch. And then by the time that the outside actually gets going, it's usually almost too late on the green-white checkered. But we'll see here coming to the finish.
Yeah, it's going to be all about building that momentum back up. And also, again, the 11 truck, he's got control. He can jump early, or he can wait for that green flag to fly. I don't know if he's been in communication with the 63, and it looks like, they're going to wait for that green. And we are down and away, and a great start by Kevin. Actually gets through the gears and clears the 25 there.
Wow.
That's a restart and a half there for Kevin. Almost
that might have been planned to Matt. Matt might have planned that on purpose so he can get around him again.
That might be it. Maybe roll off the throttle a little bit, let the 25 kind of lead the way, and then you make the move when it's time. So we'll see, because right now it's a bottom lane fest right now that they have control of it. So, but again, Brandon Briggs, he's hungry. He's going to want to try to make a move too. So Matt's going to find the right time. He's going to jump to the top, but doesn't get the help. He doesn't have the push he was looking for. Here comes the 10 here, but will it be enough in time? We got the white flag, so this is an official race. So now it's who can get to the line first. But, man, right now I think Matt's thinking, what did I need to do to get the push I needed? But watch for Brandon. Brandon cleared. He could jump up top here. We'll see what happens here through 3 and 4.
Yeah, very aggressive push. I think Matt was asking for a push and didn't get it, as he's trying to squeeze Quabi right there. But coming to the line, looks like Brandon Briggs is going to try to get the outside run. That's going to be a photo finish coming to the line here.
Coming to the line, I think it's going to happen.
Oh,
Brandon Briggs going to get the win number 1 for that number 63/number 18 truck here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kevin Free is going to bring it home in second, and it looks like Matt Wagner going to grab a third. And this is going to be probably the angriest third-place finish interview we're going to have had in a long time here. But let's go back and watch one more time coming to the line here, Chris, because it was the perfect move there by Brandon. He stayed on with the 65, got himself clear, like you talked about, of that second lane, jumped in front. Matt got him the push he needed, and that was enough to get him his, again, I believe his first Area 51 win. So big opportunity there for that number 18 machine.
Yeah, that was a great finish right there, too. I mean, he set it up perfectly. I think he was going to push Matt. Matt was asking for the push because he started looking on that the lap before. And then Matt, fortunately, went up. And I think he just kind of found out that it was going to be dry out there. And then, he just came around the corner and he planned that perfectly. That was almost picture perfect.
Yeah, great job there. I say it almost worked out, but again, super speedway racing, you got to have the brakes. And unfortunately, didn't get the break he was looking for tonight. But again, big win here for Brandon Briggs. This is going to be a very excited interview, I have a feeling. So before we get to those interviews, though, Chris, let's go ahead and pull up our final results here. We'll pull up that on the screen as we speak. As you see right there, Brandon Briggs, our race winner tonight in that number 18 machine. Kevin Free is running runner-up spot tonight. Matt Wagner third. Quabi Brooks coming, shaking off the rust, getting home a top 5 and 4th. Jason Bogart there in the 5th position. And then you got Rudy Doden, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad, Bud Steele, and the modified of Jim Brooks still bringing home in the top 10. And then you got those trucks a lap or more down. Unfortunately, not the nights they're hoping for of Gabe Butler, Ryan Decker, Frank Ranger, Hondo Longmire, Zach Perry, Carl Henderson, Jacob Lee, Austin Call. And unfortunately, our final 2 finishers there of Gary Winters and Daniel Paulus Jr. All right, so with that, Chris, let's go hunt down some drivers. We're going to kick it off with the number 11 of Matt Wagner. Again, this will probably be one of the least happy podium finishes, but man, I'm sure it's a tough pill to swallow, Matt, but it's one of those things where you just keep putting yourself in position, and one of these days it feels like it's going to have to go in the right way. And it looked good. You just didn't get that push you needed there at the end. But that said, though, able to push a driver to, I believe, their first Area 51 victory here. I mean, take us through the strategy, staying out there when a handful of drivers pitted under the caution after the pit stops, and then just the moves you and Kevin were making. They're kind of throwing haymakers at each other, trying to control that race.
All right. Yeah, that was disappointing. When we put it on that last green flag stop, I said, well, if attrition is right, we're going to have another caution. So I took full fuel, 4 tires. I took 4 tires. I think everybody else took 2. And that was going to play in my advantage in track position if everybody else, short piss takes, 2 tires and short fills the tank. And then I'll have a full tank and make it to the end. And it played in my favor, and we worked out. And we got up toward the front, which track position is key. And at the end there, I made one critical mistake on that last restart. I restarted second gear. I should have restarted in first, and that's why Kevin was able to have that massive restart, and it just killed all my momentum. And just said, all right. Since I'm thinking like, all right, Brandon Show knows he looks like he's going upward, so I'm like, all right. So it looks like he was helping me. So I'm like, oh no, he dissed me. He left me in the dust. I'm like, no. So, but he came over and he came across my nose, and I pushed him up to the win there. So, like I said, as I say, and when I do broadcasting with you, I love first-time winners. Pretty happy for Brandon, man. But so close, Gaio. It's getting there, man. I'm telling you, it's happened before this year end.
Yeah, no, I think it's only a matter of time because I feel like you've been picking up the strategies and the moves, and it's again, and that's what I always say is eventually you keep putting yourself in these positions. One of these times the brakes will turn your way, and that's all it is. I think at this point is you've got the speed, you've got the strategy. Now you just got to have the luck break. So. I mean, it was a great job tonight, Matt. Really good start to kick off the season for you, obviously, as well. So definitely want to give you the floor here, and any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you and everybody else who showed up here tonight. Thank you guys for making this series great. I had a hell of a time. Atlanta was probably one of the check marks I would try and get a win. I came close here one time. But no cigar. Who else I got to thank? Oh, it was great seeing your brother out there. I was glad to see Quabi out there racing. It's great. And
yeah, it was fun to have him shake the rust off.
Yeah, he actually looked like he still didn't have rust on. He's an athlete. You know this. Other than that, my man, that's all I got. It's Green White Checker TV. Shout out to Hondo up there, my fuel man. He told me to shout about. So Hondo, love you, brother. Shout out to Ricky Harden. And I'll see you Thursday night for the Retro Series. Other than that, guys, take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll talk each other in Victory Lane.
That sounds good, man. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to jump from our third place finisher to our runner up tonight. And I say not a surprise to see him in the top 3 positions, but it was looking good there. You guys kind of had the boot knocker train rolling solid, and this unfortunately just a pretty big wreck there towards the latter half of the race kind of caught all of you guys, and just say it didn't look like you're able to kind of get all your teammates back the way you were hoping for. But I mean, a great restart on that final one, and then it looked like it was maybe kind of a Kevin versus the world there, because I think everybody was looking for that first super speedway win. It looked like around you.
Yeah, it was. I was lucky on that restart. I got a really good jump in first gear, and was able to clear to the bottom. And then it was, do I really want to throw a terrible block here, or keep everybody at good graces until we're back here and keep racing the season? Really happy for Brandon to get that win there. He stayed up front pretty much the entire race, I believe. He was there the whole time I was seeing him. So it's great to see him get that win. And it was pretty unfortunate that wreck that took. That was a big wreck. I had to go back and see what happened because I was just minding my own business up there in that third lane. And next thing I knew, I had a car right on my hood. So it was a fun race out there, though.
Yeah, pretty bad wreck there. But Kevin, I gotta tell you, I think you put everybody on notice when you decided to go 3 wide. I think everyone was pretty shocked to find you going around the outside, and within 2 laps, you were already fighting for the lead there. So, was that something that you planned, or did that just kind of come out of nowhere?
Yeah, it was planned. I wanted to do it earlier, but I was like, I knew I had a slight tire advantage on the people who were in front of me. So I wanted to just wait until I saw them drifting just that tiny little bit up the track, because saving tire is pretty important here, and some people don't save enough of it. So I was waiting for that moment to happen, and for a couple of laps there, I was watching them, and it was happening. So then it was all right. Time to go have some fun. I know what it's like up top, so can just send it on in there, and hopefully we get somewhere. And you could see the tire advantage a little bit. Just didn't have quite enough to get clear there. Dude came up a little bit. I was trying to push him, see if we could maybe tandem together and make some progress. But we just couldn't get that additional push, and then it was too late.
Yeah, it was a really good run. Like I said, it was fun watching you guys kind of work the strategy. We did get a green flag pit stop, and it looked scary, kind of like we expected. But I mean, to be able to kind of kick it off with a podium tonight, obviously not a bad one. I'm guessing Mr. Bigglesworth is pretty proud of your effort tonight. So before we let you go and pet your hairless cat there, I want to definitely give you a chance for any thanks and shout outs for that runner up tonight.
Yeah, thank you to you, Gail, for all the hard work getting these seasons kicked off for all of us. It's nice to be able to show up and have a good race with all these drivers out there. Thanks to all the boys at Team Bootnaka. We had basically what sounded like a brand new driver in Eric, because he got a new microphone. So hopefully you get to hear that soon on the broadcast. We didn't exactly recognize him, but he started talking. And then just thanks again to all the guys who put on a great show tonight.
All right, great job. Yeah, I'll look forward to having a chat with Eric, because I got to hear this for myself. But yeah, great job tonight, man. Look forward to seeing you again here soon.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, Chris, we got to bring in our first time winner here in the Area 51 Super Speedway Series. I was bragging on him during the race there, and so I'm saying I didn't commentators curse him, so hats off to me on that one. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it. He kind of was building up to it. I felt like just consistently getting better, and he got where he needed to go tonight. So Brandon, get the first win tonight, making some big moves there at the end. I mean, take us through the race, the strategy, and then that final move to get up top there and get in front of Matt and get that shove to get that win tonight.
Oh man, it was crazy. First, before we get anything started, I want to give a shout out to Zane Merritt. He's battling cancer right now. He's 12 years old. That's what this car, the truck that we're driving tonight, the Elmhurst, was his baseball team. He loves the Raiders. he's kicking cancer's ass right now. So I want to give a shout out to him because this is like the whole reason we started doing this is just something for him, something cool he could watch from home when it started, when he got it with COVID. So first I want to give a shout out to him because he's the real winner. But hey, this is awesome. Thank you. This is awesome. It was pretty cool for the last couple years. I've been just, our seasons, I guess I should say, I've just been sitting back. You see, I start last a lot and just watch over and over and over. And the guys we race against are really, really tough. And man, watching pays off with you guys. It does. I go back and watch these races and watch Gabe and all these guys dominate. And I just seen a moment tonight, and I said in my head, if it's there, I'm taking it. If I wreck, I got a fast repair left. Because about 20 laps to go, or before the big wreck, I backed off and just rode all the way in the back. Something in my gut told me they was about to wreck 3 wide. I'm like, not good. So I just backed off and was lucky there.
Yeah, definitely, Brandon. A very great race to watch, especially the last like 3 laps on that green white checker finish. You talked about studying up on the competition and rewatching the broadcast. It seems like the last couple of weeks, obviously we talked about it a little bit last season, but it seems like a lot of people have been doing the same thing where they've been studying up and trying to figure out how to get past these boot knocker guys that seem to kind of have a stranglehold for the majority of the race. And for you to be able to make that move that you did on that restart where you didn't necessarily push Matt on the outside, then you kind of just waited, you got by him, then went all the way back around, and you went right past Kevin Freeze too. A very smart move, and it seems like that stuff has been working for you. Is there anything particular that you're looking at when you're studying these guys that you kind of want to not necessarily give up your secrets, but something that you kind of focus in on, something that you hone in on as you're watching the study film?
I don't think it's anything in general. It's just racing, getting the races under you. These are, a lot of these guys been doing it for a while. I just been doing it for the last couple seasons, and they're really good. And at first, I came in here, I was nervous. These guys are good. You don't want to be the guy that causes the crash. You don't want to be that guy. So I was just more ride, and see how they race and get more comfortable. And that's I would probably say the biggest thing tonight. I was just comfortable. And this race was actually horrible for me. I overshot my pit box. It was everything just happened to fall in place with the cautions, and but if you just sit back and watch these guys, and you're in the back, you can see when Kevin and him, like when he takes the third line, he's comfortable up there. He don't move. A lot of times I watch the groovers; they don't really race much anymore, but you can learn a lot from racing behind those guys because they're aggressive, but they're so clean when they're being aggressive. And so every chance I get, I hop behind them or Gabe just to watch them. When are they going to make their move? When are they not? Why are they making their move? And pitting. You got to be at all stages of this race, and you got to be pitting. Everything has to be dead on, or you're not going to beat them. And so the more time you race against them, the better you're going to get, and it only makes the racing better.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the mindset we wish everybody else would take. I think is probably where Chris and I stand on that one because, again, I mean, I've got to kind of see you, like, just kind of like you said, the mindset. I mean, we've talked obviously in Discord, like, hey, I'm going to do this tonight, and that's, I mean, that's what I say. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, exactly what you said. You've been consistently improving. And like I said, I think, and it showed tonight that you were comfortable. You were ready to go and make the moves when you needed to, and you made the perfect move to jump around there to get the win here tonight. And like I said, I mean, Matt and Chris and I, like, we all love the first time winners. And it's one of those things where it always feels like it's just a matter of time for some of those. And so you're able to nail it here tonight. So like I said, we couldn't be happier. This is what we always love to see. And I'm saying, especially this, what like you said too, where you're not doing this for you, you're doing this for someone who's kind of got their own battles going on. And so yeah, definitely a big shout out for you and like you said for Zane for everything, because that's tough. I say it's never fun, especially when they're that young. But like you said, he's doing his fight, and I say, and I'm glad that you're able to kind of bring some attention and awareness to that. So again, just hats off to you for that. And before we let you go and celebrate and saying hopefully maybe be able to make some phone calls and all that, definitely want to give you the floor for thanks and shouts for that first win here tonight.
Man, thank you to you guys. Like I said, I couldn't get no better if I don't go back and watch and see what I did wrong and everything. And just everybody that tunes in. This is a commitment. It's a Sunday night. People got to get up and work. Everybody's on different time zones. To get 20, 25 guys, it wouldn't be good racing if not all of us showed up and had respect for each other. So the competition, thanks, man, and thanks to everybody that makes us go into this.
All right, well, great job again here, Brandon. Like I said, we're all super pumped for you. So go enjoy this one. You get to go watch back your first win over here once we finish off tonight. And yeah, look forward to seeing you put yourself in position for some more wins over the season, man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, Chris, that is our race winner. And I mean, Matt said it, like, we love first time winners, and I just love the mindset of how he was going about that race. Where, like he said, where basically he kind of spent the first couple seasons getting comfortable, learning what the kind of the perennial, if you will, front runners do. And I mean, I'd say that's a student that figured it out, and I mean, he put it to use tonight. And like I said, I mean, that looks like someone who's been doing this for years, not for a couple seasons. So big shots at Brandon making the right moves at the right time, getting that big win here tonight. It's just fun to see. Like, I mean, it's one of those things that it doesn't matter how you race. Like, it just puts a smile on your end after those races.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, with that being said, this is first race of the season, but it already feels like race of the year, for me in my what I'm looking at right now. And for Brandon to win the way that he did, just the racing in general, the wrecks that we did have, they weren't, real malicious or anything like that. They were just, kind of a cause of what this track does and how it's being ran now with the new resurfacing, repaving. But everyone drove pretty cleanly. Even the green flag pit stops. That's something I always worry about. With these super speedway races. That's usually kind of pretty much here at Green White Checker TV. That's usually kind of where we have most of our wrecks at. Because people, just have a little bit of mistakes there. But constantly, week in and week out, we see these guys get better and better, and they get a little bit more comfortable and familiar with each other. And it just brings the product, all around, to its top level, top tier stuff. And I've always enjoyed doing this with you, and watching someone win their first win is kind of special to me.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's always fun because again, it's like you're never gonna get your next first win. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I'm with you 100% on that one. It's a really cool deal, and it's fun to see those. Like I said, and we've got a handful of guys that are definitely going to be in contention for that. Obviously, third place finisher Matt Wagner, he's still looking for his first super speedway win. He's got a bunch of Indy ones under his belt. And saying I have to go check, but I want to say Jason Bogart top 5. He was right there as well. Rudy Doden. So I mean, there's a number of drivers, and there's also drivers just maybe haven't had a win in a while. So it'll almost feel like a first for those guys. So it's gonna be fun, and that's the nice part about this is we've got some more to come. So again, we'll be back on Thursday night for the Xfinity cars here once again at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be Boomer Logan calling the shots over there. And then, of course, however, not broadcasted, but if you want to race some open wheel cars, we got the Delara IR18s. Season kicks off this upcoming Tuesday, so definitely take a look over there as well at area51iracing.com. Chris, as always, pleasure doing these with you, man. I'm looking forward to. I say it's been a while since I've been in the booth running the show, so it was fun to get that rust kind of knocked off as well. Can't wait to see Boomer work his magic on Thursday nights, and yeah, I'm excited for this season. It's crazy that it feels like it was a long but short break, and I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely, me too.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for supporting us watching here on Green White Checker TV. And I say, Chris has mentioned before, I say, if you can, I say definitely give it a like and subscribe. I say definitely helps for the broadcast, kind of lets it get to some more eyes. That way some more people can enjoy it. But yeah, definitely thank you all for watching, for supporting your drivers. It makes it a lot more fun to be able to interact with you all as well during the races. So until next time, stay safe, take care, have a good night, and we'll see you all on Thursday.